Hello everybody and welcome back. So in the last one we were doing these particles that you see here, and we were talking about doing it in local space and world space. And this time, in this one, we're going to add particles that are mesh, which means they're going to have directions. So it's not going to be that long tutorial. But there are some stuff to think about. So if you notice here, the particles is the forward direction for the particle is the blue arrow, and it's pointing forward the same direction it goes, like the blue one here, and the blue one is going forward here, and the blue one is going forward here. So we're going to take care of that, and then we're going to make sure we do it with gravity. And yeah, so I'm going to show you how to set these stuff up, and we going to continue in the last scene that we were in. So we are here. So if you want to know how this one works, I'm going to put it like this is good. So we're going to work in this one. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to change these particles to mesh instead. So I'm going to put this one down here so we can see what's going on. So let's do the red one first. So we are in here. So we made the local one and then we made the world. So just let's see here. We just take this one and then we copy this one down here. So this one going to be the mesh local. And then we activate it so it's on. So I'm gonna show you quickly how it looks. So we just have the red one. So this is how it looks. We have it in local space and we have this out particle, and we're gonna remove it, and we can remove the gravity for now. So what we have here, we have lifetime and we have velocity 2x that we get from the local space. So it's the red direction. So here we have update, and let's do lit mesh. We're going to do mesh. So output particle shader graph mesh. Come on. Here we have it. So it's going, yeah, see, it's a cube. So the first thing we need to add the arrow. So it's going to be the gizmo mesh. So now it's a little bit small. So let's do that size. And if you want this one, you can find it in the description. I'm going to leave a link to it. So we have 0.2. So now you see a little bit more clear. We can do 0.3 to make it a little bit more visible. And then we can change this to be like 10. Yeah. So this and then we need a color, of course. So here we need to put a shader, and I made let's see, I have a material vertex shader here. So it's just a vertex color. And here we have it. So first off, the particle is not, it's the forward direction is the same direction as the VFX component in itself. So it's, you see, the green and red and blue is the same as the gizmo itself. And we want it to be the forward of the particle going to be the direction. So the way you do this, it's pretty simple. You just do orient, and then you just do, let's see, where is it? Advanced. So what you have here, orient advanced, it's asking for 2 directions. And if you give it 2 directions, it will use the cross product to figure out the rest. And it's actually work like this. You give it 2 directions and it will do cross product 2 times. I won't go into the depth why, but you can read it in the documentation. But that means you don't need to have these directions perfectly aligned. So that's good enough to explain. So here you see axis Z is taking the local forward direction. That's why the blue is pointing in the blue forward. And here you see xi is the particles. The particle is taking the component's local I upwards. So the green you see here, that's why the green arrow is pointing upwards. So we want this axis to point in the axis X. So the red arrow, the component's X is the red. So now here we have it. So I really hope you kind of understood how that works. So that's how you do it. And there is another way to do it when you put gravity to it, but I'm gonna leave that for now. So here you have, now we're gonna do let's do upwards. So of course now when we see here, we want the particle's forward direction needs to be the gizmo's up direction. So down here, the forward direction for the particles is going to be the up direction. And now you see it doesn't work because you can't have them same direction because this will leave a value of 0. So what is the up direction for the particle? Well, if this is going to be forward and the red is going to be right, then the up going to be negative blue. So which means we need to have the up y-axis going to be -1 here. So now we see, now this one is pointing the right direction too. And now we just need to have this one, and I guess you figured it out. This one gonna be so we want the velocity to be at the local world space, the local forward, what we want here. So now it's going in the right direction. And now we want it to be oriented in the right direction. So the particle's blue is going to be forward. So here again, the forward direction is this direction. And then we can't have it, the -1 here. We need, it's going to be 1. So the up is the same as the gizmo. So here you have it. So this is local space and it works. Perfect. And let's do this in world space. So we kind of get a hang of it in world space. So we just untick. Here we have the local. And now we're going to do it in world space. So I'm just going to delete these ones. And we're going to start with the red one. So first off, we're going to change it to, now we work in world space. So now you notice that the particles is down here. So if you go down, you don't see it. And the reason is the bounding box is up here. So if we go to the bounding box, bounds. Yeah, I wanted us to see it. I don't understand why we can't see it. Hello, show. Ah, it's not important, but the bounding box we can't see it. So now we can't see it, but if we see the VFX gizmo, we see it. But we want to move this one, so because we don't have any position here. We are not setting position, so if we do set position, this is what's happening. We are setting 0, 0, 0. Because we're doing world, we're having world up here, but we want to set the position to the local. So now you see, here we have it. And we have velocity forward, and here we have velocity. Yeah, so it seems like it works really good. But there is one thing here that we need to address. If we do like this, if we add gravity, you see now it works in a way, but the arrow is always pointing forward. So if I actually do this one to 60, so now it seems like the VFX setup is updating 60 frames per second. So now it looks like it's not moving, but it's actually updating. So you see here, all the arrows is pointing at the X direction. But maybe we want them to point towards the velocity. So now this setup is not really good, right? So what we want to do is here, instead of having this one pointing in the X direction, we want to get this velocity, because this is just the start velocity and then it will change. And this is the velocity direction. So if you just do here, the advanced orient, if we do get velocity, and we need to do, I want to do this normalize. So we make sure it's normalized. Then if we just plug it in here, now you see it's doing something. It's not entirely what I wanted. Let's see, I'm just gonna try here. Wait. Yeah. So if you see here, the first one here, the blue one is up and then right, and the blue one. What I'm trying to say is that you need to have the velocity from world space, because we have the velocity. When you get the velocity, it's in world space. So you need to put this one in world space. And then you have the up direction here. So it's not entirely correct, but it looks so much better. So this is how you kind of, if you want some, like a missile or something else, then you do it like this. Because if you don't have gravity, I'll actually skip that thought now. I'm going to cover that in another movie. But this is how you do it. So let's do this for all of the axes. So here we do we made the red one. So now we're going to do upwards. So we're going to make sure that we shoot them upwards. So first off, we're going to change this to go upwards. And down here, we're going to, yeah, we don't need to change anything else here, because now the forward direction is the velocity. And you see it's falling down really fast. So we can actually change this to, let's say 30 or 24 or even 10 maybe. I do 12. So we want this velocity to be stronger. So I'm going to do 5 or, wow, 3. So now you see the arrows. If we do 60 again. Now you see that they are shooting up and going down. So then we just do the blue one, because we want it to be forward too. So we want it to be here. So let's see, we're doing the forward is going to be like that. So here you have it. This is how you use this advanced. And let's do the green one to be free too, or the red one. So let's see, we can do 20 instead. That one just turn on the animation. So yeah, this is how you do it. It's kind of not complicated. You just need to understand it, and then you kind of understand how it works. I would say that even though, let's see if I do like this. So if you see here, there is one problem though. See here, the green arrow points right, and here it points up and then backwards. That's not really correct, because that's the way how the advanced node works. You will, if you look here, this one is more smooth and this one is more smooth. But here you can see a weird, it's not smooth. You see the blue pointing, and then eventually, bam, it's pointing down. And the reason is because when it's orienting this, it doesn't orient it according to the last frame. It's doing it towards the upwards direction, and it's a little bit more complicated to solve the orientation to be more accurate. But you can do it. So let's see if we have this gizmo here. Where is it? I'm gonna do, let's find it. Do we have, I want to see it here. Okay. I want to get the problem somewhere. Show me, I want to have the problem somewhere. Yeah, my point is, you can change this and have it, instead of doing advanced, you can use a long velocity, but then it will, that's going to be a problem too, because then you have just a long velocity. And if you look at it now, can you see that so I'm going to do like this so you can see what I'm talking about, because it's a good point. I'm more or less done with the tutorial. I just want to point something out that I'm going to cover in another tutorial. Do you see this one here? Do you see the red arrow here? And if I do like this, you see it pointing down. So it's actually following the velocity, but I think it's taking account to the camera's up direction. So this is not, if you have a round rocket, then it might be okay, but this is not good if you want to have something more special mesh like this. So I'm going to cover it in another video, but I hope you get use of this, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something, and see you in another tutorial.